Okay, fine, this is the last one. Besides, I'm running out of movie Yoshi pics that I can actually use for these things. Yoshi's Cookie! Again! Released in 1993 for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System following the release of the 8-bit versions on Game Boy and NES. In North America, this would have been a few months afterwards, whereas in Japan, this would have been a whole year after. Once again developed by Bulletproof Software, Yoshi's Cookie is a puzzle game where your goal is to clear away the constant barrage of cookies swarming into your play area. You do this by lining up cookies of the same type in rows or columns, and this will cause them to clear away and build towards a meter. And this continues onwards until you clear all the cookies from your board. The faster you clear the screen, the bigger the bonus you get, and if your tray starts to overflow with cookies, it's game over. I feel like I've said this all before, probably because I already have, and so let's repeat some more stuff for the third time in a row. I mean, sure, why not? It's pretty much the same thing anyways, so... Every time you fill one of these cookie meters, a cookie resembling Yoshi's head will appear and will act as a wildcard for one of the other cookies. You can hold down a button to accelerate the approaching wave of cookies, which is a nice feature to have because sometimes when you only have a couple of cookies left to clear away, it'll take a while for the right cookies to come along and clear the last batch. And that tends to drag the game down a bit because you're adding to that pile because you don't have the likes of cookies. And look, I've got nothing left to add to that. This is the third time I'm playing the same game, and I blew my third wit on the last one. So here's the deal, it's the third time we're playing Yoshi's Cookie this week, and if you've played the other versions, then this one is no different in terms of the core gameplay. It's still a fairly straightforward puzzler with a bit of a learning curve, but nothing too complex. Controls still work out as well as you'd expect for a game of this ilk, so no issues there. Like the 8-bit versions, Yoshi Cookies has a single-player mode as well as a versus mode that can be played with either 1 or 2 players. The single-player versus apparently being a new thing to this SNES release. In a 1-player mode, you can pick from one of 10 rounds, each comprising 10 stages of varied cookie spreads. Upon clearing the 10th and final stage, you get a little cutscene involving Mario and the animate cookie dough. Familiar stuff done up for the 16-bit hardware using Super Mario World sprites for the Mario caricature. However, in addition to the standard 1-player and 2-player versus modes that were in the 8-bit versions, SNES Yoshi's Cookie also includes a puzzle mode where you have a set number of moves to solve an on-screen puzzle. It's not a huge thing, it's something that we've seen in other puzzle games before, but it's something unique for this version of the game, well, besides the overall graphical and audio overhaul. So yes, naturally, this being 16-bit, the Super Nintendo take on Yoshi's Cookie is a visually more impressive showing compared to its 8-bit counterparts. The general layout is largely the same, playfield in the middle, meters on the side, but now each round has its own unique backdrop that, while largely comprising recycled elements of Super Mario World, still gives the game that bit of flavor. Also, the intermissions, while largely the same, also includes a brief cartoon that pops up for a few seconds before the sprite-based animation plays out. Oh, and Yoshi is in on the action too, so good job on including the title character in the game beyond a token appearance or two. Though to be fair, the Game Boy version found room for Yoshi, and anyways. As expected, you have a number of selectable music tracks to play, and they're more or less the same as the 8-bit versions, but now with SNES synth, for better or worse. I don't know, they still do nothing for me, but they're still, pleasant jingles I suppose for this sort of game. The game does have some additional jingles and stuff, which are nice sounding, I guess. Oh well, at least the sound effects are a step up. They're no longer sounding like something that came out of a pirate Famicom multi-cart thing or whatever. I don't know, kinda. I tried. Not really. Overall, Yoshi's Cookie on SNES falls into the same category that other SNES ports of Nintendo's other puzzle games around that time like Tetris 2 or Wario's Woods fall into. It's the same solid puzzle game that appeared on NES and Game Boy, but benefiting from nicer visuals, sounds, and a couple unique modes that you didn't get on the 8-bit versions. Naturally, if you didn't care for those earlier versions, because the gameplay didn't jive with you, this one's not going to change your mind because it doesn't do anything different. But if you just can't get enough of Yoshi's Cookie for whatever reason, not judging, then this SNES port offers more of that, and really just that, so... it's fun for a lark. You could do worse.